The rain had stopped, but the airfield still smelled like wet concrete and burnt fuel. The dawn sky was painted orange as the mechanics of the 37 fighter wing stood silently around a lifeless beast, their F-16 Falcon, dead on the tarmac. Its sleek gray frame gleamed under the floodlights, but everyone knew it was useless. The jet had failed its diagnostics 3 times in a row, grounding the most important training mission of the month. Captain Ryan Hawk Dalton, a 27-year-old pilot with ambition in his eyes and frustration in his voice, threw his gloves on the ground. "We've tried everything," he shouted. "Power relays, fuel pumps, flight control computers, nothing." A young technician muttered, "Sir, this jet's done. She's not coming back." But standing a few feet away, quietly watching, was an older man with silver hair, grease-stained hands, and a faded flight jacket. He didn't belong to the regular maintenance crew. His name was Frank "Ghost" Harris, a retired Air Force Master Sergeant. He had once been the lead technician for the same squadron. Decades ago, Frank had come to the base only to deliver some old documents and shake a few hands. But when he saw the grounded F-16, something in his chest tightened. That plane, serial 8819, was one he'd worked on himself, years before he retired. It wasn't just a machine to him. It was family. "Who's the old man?" one of the younger airmen whispered. "Legend," another replied quietly. "They say he could hear an F-16 and tell what was wrong with it, just by the sound." Frank approached slowly, his boots echoing across the wet tarmac. "Mind if I take a look?" he asked, voice low but firm. Captain Dalton looked him up and down, skeptical. "With all due respect, sir, this bird's fried. Even the base engineers couldn't get her back up." Frank smiled faintly. "Then let's see what they missed." They cleared the area. Frank climbed the maintenance ladder and opened the F-16's side panel. His hands moved slowly, not with haste but precision, the kind of patience that comes from thousands of hours of experience. Every nut, every wire, every click of a relay told him a story. He murmured softly, "You've been through hell, haven't you?" As if speaking to an old friend. Dalton folded his arms. "Sir, it's not worth it. The avionics are shot. Command already requested a replacement." Frank didn't even look at him. "Son, you don't replace something that's still got fight left in it. You bring it back." Minutes turned into an hour. The younger crew began to gather around, curious. Frank asked for a torque wrench, then a diagnostic line, then a multimeter. Each request came without hesitation. He checked the flight control computer manually, bypassing the standard system. Then he found it, a hairline fracture on the power bus relay. Something so small that even the computers didn't detect it. "There you are," he whispered. "A crack no bigger than a thread." He motioned for a soldering kit and patched the connection by hand. His movements were steady, despite his age. When he reconnected the relay, the console lights flickered for the first time in days. The airman froze. Dalton's eyes widened. "Is that?" Frank nodded. "She's waking up." The F-16's cockpit lights blinked alive, one by one. The hydraulic systems hummed, and the distinctive electronic tone filled the hangar. It was like a heart restarting after flatline. The mechanics cheered. Some clapped, others just stared. For a moment, everyone was silent, watching a man who time had forgotten breathe life back into a machine everyone else had given up on. But Frank wasn't done. "Let's see if she still remembers how to sing." He motioned for ground power and signaled the ignition. The engine coughed, sputtered, and then roared to life, shaking the ground beneath them. The mighty Pratt & Whitney F-100 turbine screamed across the base, echoing through the morning air like thunder. Every head turned. Commanders came out of their offices, pilots rushed to the windows. The jet that was dead only hours ago was now alive because of a man who refused to let it die. Dalton approached, shouting over the engine noise, "How did you know what it was?" Frank smiled faintly. "Because she told me. You just have to listen long enough." The younger pilot looked at him with awe. "Sir, you saved the mission." Frank shrugged. "Just fixed what was broken. Been doing it my whole life." He began to walk away, but Dalton called out, "Wait. You should be on the record for this. The general's going to want to know how you did it." Frank turned, the roaring jet reflected in his eyes. "You tell him," he said, "that experience isn't obsolete. Machines may change, but the heart that keeps them flying never does." Later that day, the F-16 took off flawlessly, slicing through the sky like it was reborn. Everyone on the ground watched it disappear into the horizon, its afterburner lighting up the clouds. Dalton stood beside Frank as the old man looked up. "Feels good to see her fly again," Frank said softly. "You should come back, sir," Dalton offered. "We could use someone like you." Frank smiled, the lines on his face deepening. "Nah. My time's past. But it's your turn now. Just remember something." "What's that?" "Every plane has a soul. Every soldier does too. Don't ever stop believing either can come back from the dead." That night, word spread across the base. They called it the day the ghost brought the Falcon back, and though Frank Harris quietly left the next morning, leaving behind only his old wrench on the workbench, no one ever forgot what he'd done, because in the world of machines, it's easy to measure skill by speed and precision. But that day, everyone learned something greater: that true mastery isn't just in fixing what's broken, it's in believing what others no longer can.